All right, so we are talking about 8.4. I think personally that this could be the most complicated one. Just because at this point now we're mixing all of the rules together. So the first rule is easy. It just says anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So our rule that says that is if it's a to the 0, it's equal to 1. So no matter what it is, if it's to the 0 power, it's 1. So in this case, 7 to the 0 is 1. Negative 223 to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. The next one, anything to the power of 1 is equal to itself. So a to the 1 is just equal to a. So anything to the first power is equal to itself. So if it's 8, 1, it's just equal to 8 because we have 8 one time. 95 to the first power is just 95. So those first two rules are kind of like whatever, easy. You just have to know them. Excuse me. Negative exponents is where it gets tricky. So negative exponents should be written as a fraction. So it's going to be written as a fraction. This is kind of where my crazy analogy and like I want to look up here. So when we have something with a negative, it's frowning, it's sad, it's bad. And what we do to make it happy is we have to put it downstairs. So we put it, I say, in the basement, right? I kind of think of it as like the main floor of a house is where you're being bad. And if I'm being bad on the main floor, my parents send me to the basement to get better. That's where I go for punishment. So if I have a negative exponent, I go down to the basement. And from there, I become happy. Okay. So anytime you have a negative exponent, it goes down to the basement. So we keep the same thing. We just put it down into a fraction in the bottom. So we leave it as 14. When we go to the basement, our exponent becomes positive. And then we're going to write that down here. Exponent turns positive. So when I put the 12 down there, it's no longer a negative 12, it's a positive 12. And then there's nothing up top here, so we're going to put an implied 1. So again, when it's negative, it goes to the bottom of the fraction to turn positive. Okay, so I see a negative. I have a fraction. It goes down to the bottom, becomes positive, and there's nothing up top, so I put a 1. Okay, so I think negative exponents are the most confusing part. So now we're going to kind of put it all together, every rule we've ever learned. Okay, so when I see something to the 0 power, it becomes 1. And there's implied multiplication between them. So it's really 5 times 1, which is 5. This next one, I see a multiplication symbol here. So I know when I multiply straight across, I take my coefficients and I actually multiply them. So 3 times 5 is 15. These have the same bases. So if I have something with the same base, I add my exponents. So 5 plus -7 is -2. But now I have a negative exponent, and I can't have a negative exponent. So what I do is I send that to the basement. So just the thing that's negative goes down to the basement. So just the P has a -2. The 15 stays up top because it has its own exponent of 1. and that's positive. Okay. In this next one, I see things with the same base. So when I divide, I really subtract. So 6 minus 9 is z negative 3 with 15 on the bottom. I can't have a negative exponent, so that has to go down to the basement. So I'm left with 1 up top and then 15 z3. Because it was negative, it went down to the basement. Okay, for this one, we multiply straight across. So we multiply straight across, which means we add 4 plus negative 10 is g to the negative 6. The 6 has nothing to do with anything, it's its own base. I again can't have a negative, so that comes down. I'm left with 1 over 6 g6. Next one, they're all the same base, so I give it a 1. I simplify across first. Negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. We have the same base, but now we're dividing. So when we divide, we really subtract. Let's just talk about negative 7 minus 2 is not 5 because of keep, change. This is really negative 3 to the negative 9. I can't have negative exponents, so that goes down to the basement, and it's 1 over negative 3 to the 9th. I know, it's a lot. It's hard. This next one, we're going to take it piece by piece. Here's a base. 3 minus 6 is 8 to the negative 3. Here's my next base. Negative 4 and negative 1. Negative 4 minus negative 1 is negative 3. So I have B negative 3. C, I have 1 and a 1. So 1 minus 1 is C 0. Okay, now we have to simplify that. We have lots of things going on. 8 to the negative 3. If I have a negative, it goes in the basement, becomes positive. So that takes care of that. B to the negative 3 is negative. So we put B3 on the bottom. Takes care of that. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So we put a 1 up top. And then I can't leave it as 8 to the 3rd. So I need to do 1 over whatever 8 to the 3rd is. I don't remember. 512 B3. So it's helpful to write out this step so that way you know what's happening. Okay, so those are the notes. We'll go over this a lot more when I see you on Monday, so don't stress too much.